So there's a new update about LCS. A new third international event, innovative fearless draft game mode in tier 1 play. That's pretty cool. Unified split schedule for all leagues. Don't really care. Proposed multi-region leagues in APAC and Americas. That's what we care about. Experiment with guest team slots / promotion relegation. That one is huge. And new international event league slots. I don't know what that means, so we'll have to see. Okay. We're going to have to go in chronological order, I guess. New international event in Fearless Draft mode. We are excited to announce the creation of a third international event for Lolesports. That's good. Everyone always wanted more international events for League. It's only taken 10 years. Better late than never, but it's a W. So we're happy to find time in the calendar to add one. We're still working on the event's name and branding, but there are several details to share today. At the start of the 2025 season, we'll create a first split / global tournament across all regions. The initial round of the tournament will begin with regional play. Okay, yeah, that's to like select who goes. That makes sense. With each of the 5 regions qualifying a single team for the international round of the tournament in March. So 1 team per region. That's kind of like old MSI. And the new MSI has 2 teams per region. Teams that advance to the international round will then participate in a round-robin format. We will see every region play every other region in a best-of series. The top 4 teams from that round-robin will then advance to a bracket, and the ultimate winner of the tournament being crowned at the end of the 6-day international round. Wow. That's pretty exciting. Okay, so they just kind of play round-robin and... Oh, and then they play it in a bracket. So it's like it's a tournament with like semifinals and then finals, but with just 4 teams. That's cool. I mean, like everyone wants to see more international events, pretty much, right? Like that's like the ultimate skill expression as a player and a professional team, but also like as a fan, it's just super cool to see your favorite players from your region or someone you're really excited to watch, like Faker face off against, Caps or whoever. It's just like fun. As a season start event, the new tournament split will allow pros and fans to see everything the new in-game League of Legends competitive season offers. We expect to use this event annually to experiment with different competitive formats and inject exciting innovations into our early season competition. Just some corporate speak, basically. In 2025, we'll implement a version of Fearless Draft for best of series in the regional and international rounds of the new tournament. In a best of series, Fearless Draft effectively bans champions picked in prior games in the series. This format shakes up the matchups and provides more variety in the champions we watch our favorite pros play. So I mean, the whole point of Fearless Draft is to sort of like squash the negative feelings that people have, like where they think that pro play is just the same champions over and over again. Say for example, the last MSI, everyone's so sick of watching Cassante versus Zach, Cassante versus Poppy, Cassante versus Vayntop. You don't want to see the same champions every game in a series. And Fearless Draft is a way to fight that. Basically, it bans out champions. It removes champions from the pool that have already been picked in the series. So I guess what I think about it is I would only feel comfortable as a pro player playing in Fearless Draft mode if I knew it was going to be implemented in something that matters. So international tournament or Worlds. Worlds is the thing that ultimately that's what matters. So I think this is like an experiment to see how it feels as a viewer. I would say it's more stressful as a player to play in Fearless Draft because it forces every single player to have a wider champion pool. Because not only are there bans, every champion that you play in the series is banned. So that's cool. As a viewer, I think that's super cool. As a player, I would be like thinking about how difficult it might be if you get to a 5-game series and it's game 5 and 4 champions are banned. And then, let's just say you're Faker and like there's like 6 mid bans. It's like, holy fuck, I'm 10 champions down in my tier list of champs. I'll have to pull out something crazy. So yeah, that could be really stressful as a pro player because your champion pool now, instead of being like 3 to 5, has to be like potentially like up to like 8. To ensure that our events stay connected, we will use results from this first tournament to seed the MSI. Okay, makes sense. That way it matters. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Since the competitive formats we pilot in this tournament may change yearly and likely look different than the rest of the competitive calendar, we will not auto-qualify the winning team in MSI. Probably because of the Fearless Draft thing as well. Doesn't it only ban champs from the previous one game only? Oh, is that how it works? Yo, guys, I've never watched Fearless Draft before. Is that how it works? Hold on, let me look up. It's the entire series? Hold on, let me see here. I'm just going to look it up. It says here, should the series extend to a third game, all champions featured in the first two games will be collectively unavailable. So the first game, nothing changes. In game 2, game 1, champions are prohibited. And then in game 3, it's games 1 and 2. Depends, there's soft, fearless, and fearless. Okay. I don't know. I like, they didn't say that it was going to be soft, fearless. They just said in the article that it's fearless. So I'm going to assume that it's like the normal definition of it. LCK Challengers had hardcore where both teams' champs are banned out for the rest of the games. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's to me, that's what's normal. I see. Soft Fearless is still the whole series, just your own picks. Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna skip. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna skip anything. We're gonna build up to the point that actually is crazy. With the new international event, we'll also refine our regional split structure. Starting next season, all regions will begin with the new international tournament / first split. A second split will then qualify teams for MSI, which will move later in the calendar to roughly the beginning of July. The third and final split in each region will culminate with a regional championship to crown one season-long champion in each region. Focusing on a single season regional championship makes the splits more cohesive and interconnected, raises the stakes for many of our regular season matches, and provides an enticing season-long build-up to Worlds, our biggest event of the year. Wait, I'm actually confused. A second split will then qualify teams for MSI. Third and final split in each region will culminate in a regional championship. So there's 3 splits now. And splits 1 and 2 barely matter. No, I'm not in queue. Really? End of split champion is all that matters now. I don't know if I like 3 splits. I don't particularly like LEC format, which is 3 splits in like a regional final, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it, but it doesn't really affect me all that much. Just watching games. I guess one benefit to shorter splits in general is that the worst teams get weeded out faster. That's what people say is an upside. New multi-regional Americas / APAC leagues and guest team slots. In addition to optimizing our business model with pro teams, we've also looked for ways to increase the competitiveness and stakes of our regional leagues overall. To that end, we'll begin conversations with teams in 7 of our regions around our intention to form multi-region leagues. Lolesports fans clearly enjoy region versus region battles and the fandom and passion tied to geographic pride. Americas. The LCS in North America is seeing an upswing in sentiment and achieved its first year-over-year growth in viewership in 4 years. Brazil's CBLOL is more popular than ever, with incredible fandom and viewership numbers. So, LLA in Latin America has seen an uptick in engagement this year as well, with growing interest in watching global leagues and other leagues, including LCS and CBLOL. Fans have been actively participating in our multi-language broadcasting co-streams, showing a growing enthusiasm for cross-regional competitions. So while we're pleased to see progress across these two regions, we believe we have an opportunity to combine forces in a new Pan Americas League that will be good for fans, teams, and pros. I think this first part is kind of a fluff piece to, I guess, to support the decision, but it doesn't even need that. I think this is nothing but just a huge W for like everyone. It's a huge win for everyone, for essentially LCS to copy the Americas region from Valorant, because VCT has this where they're, it's like, I think it might be 3 or 4 teams from the US, and then 2 Brazilian teams, which is MIBR and Loud, and then Leviathan. I don't know, is Leviathan from Mexico? I don't actually know, but it's a huge win. CBLOL loses. Yeah, actually, LCS wins. I don't know if CBLOL wins or loses through this. LLA is dying. I have no idea, to be honest. While we're pleased to see progress across these regions, we believe we have an opportunity to combine forces. Oh, wait, no, I already read that. Sorry. Disagree. Brazil gets shafted. Let's see. Let's see what the actual setup is. Each conference would maintain 6 of its existing partner teams, integrate 1 team from the LLA based on geographic alignment, and reserve 1 guest team spot for promotion and relegation through the Tier 2 system for a total of 8 teams per conference. The Americas League would operate with a 3-split season shown in the above graphic. Here's how the Americas split would work. Split 1. What above graphic? Oh, okay. This above graphic. Split 1. Teams would first compete with their respective conferences, with top performers qualifying for cross-conference play, where a single team will qualify for the new global tournament. Okay. So this is leading up to the 2 conferences competing. Got it. For MSI, split 2. For MSI, this top team from each conference would secure 1 slot, a total of 2 Americas teams. And then I'm guessing the thirds would be the culmination of it all, where they fight. And America's regional championship would determine 3 teams advancing to Worlds, with at least 1 team from each conference. Okay, that's weird. That's weird. How are they going to make it so that they guarantee 1 team from each? What if the best team from the Northern Conference or the Southern Conference is worse than the 3rd best team from the other one? You just get in anyways? Okay, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do that. In essence, like, NA lost a world spot, but I would say it's kind of deserved, because there's only going to be realistically 7 North American. There's going to be 1 guest team, which is probably going to be North American, 1 LLA team, and 6 other NA orgs, right? So that's a combined 7 NA, if we're talking about like whatever geographically, or like, where the organization is from, NA teams. Doesn't really make any sense that we would get guaranteed 3 spots with 7 teams in competitive teams in the world, one of them being in the kind of an amateur team, a promotion relegation team, and that one doesn't even necessarily have to be American. So let's just say there's a world where there's only 6 North American teams. It doesn't make any sense that we would be guaranteed 3 spots. So we are guaranteed we are guaranteed 1 spot. I rephrase this. We're guaranteed 1 spot. I'm going to assume that LCS is still stronger than CBLOL in this, conference versus conference thing. So I do think that it'll be probably 1 CBLOL team and 2 LCS teams making it to Worlds. One advantage of making the decision to restructure Americas is that we can experiment with innovations that our prior structure didn't allow. In this case, by incorporating a guest team slot in Tier 1 from the Tier 2 system, the best teams coming from Tier 2 would compete in a promotion relegation tournament at the end of each America season against the existing guest team from each conference. The victorious team would earn a slot in the respective conference for the following season, enabling continual fresh talent infusion and competitive dynamism within the league. Nothing is more fun, guys. Nothing is more fun than watching people fight for their lives. And promotion relegation, It is not as competitive as Worlds. It is not as competitive as even, LCS finals. Obviously, these are going to probably be like lower tier teams, but man, it is so fun to watch. I think this is really good for viewership. I think it's just really good for the scene. And people have been asking for promotion relegation to come back ever since they removed it for franchising. We'll let you know later this year how this could work in 2025, since we don't have a system in place in 2024 and beyond. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. We'll believe this change will motivate talented players keen to navigate the newly enhanced pathway to top-level professional play. And this is actually a huge W for... I would say this is like very, very important for for like tier 2 players' motivation to continue on, right? Because one of the things that really fucking sucks about franchising is the motivation for a tier 2 player, an academy player, right? Let's look at the solo queue ladder really fast, okay? These are players who, Surdy, Tony Top, he did play in LCS briefly, Shiden, Yukino, Bradley, all these guys. Doklo was academy, and then he eventually got promoted. So let's just like think about it from their perspective for a second. You're an academy player, you're grinding, you hit top 10 on the NA ladder, you hit rank 1, whatever it is, and you feel like you really deserve a shot. Well, now destiny is kind of in your hands. If you are good enough to carry your tier 2 team, and I know this is like a pretty big ask, but if you are good enough to carry your tier 2 team to be the best one, then you have a real shot of getting this guest spot, as opposed to before. What happens if you're the best? What happens if you're the Academy champions? Does anyone care? Is anyone even looking? Like, you're still, like, it doesn't matter if you're the Academy champions, because you're going to still have to wait for a GM of an existing LCS team to scoop up your contract, pay up your buyout to your amateur team, leave all of your teammates behind. Maybe you like some of those teammates. Maybe those teammates complemented your playstyle and you think that you would be better served playing with them. Doesn't matter. You're just injected into an LCS team, right? As like the rookie. So I think in a lot of ways this is like really cool, because we're going to see like how did Cloud9 explode onto the scene? Right? How Cloud9 came in through promotion relegation, and that team played amazing together. We might actually see like a fucking team from the guest spot, this tier 2 team, like actually perform super well because they played together for a real long time, and they're not just getting like picked apart by existing LCS GMs. It could be really cool. It could be really cool. Damwon Gaming? I don't even know. Is that what happened for them? Sorry, I lost my placing, and I always do this. In developing the newly proposed model, our goals are to capitalize on the strengths of each region, grow our existing fan bases, improve competitive play, and enhance the pathway to pro play. They definitely did that. I think this change definitely enhances the pathway to pro play. There's a very clear way. It's like, guys, let's just say I fucking de-aged 13 years. I'm 17 years old again, and I get a bunch of my 17-year-old challenger friends. I'm like, yo, guys, let's make an amateur team. I think we can really make it, and we can't, and like we shit on everyone. We are the best tier 2 team. Like, we can make it into LCS. What happens if you want that to happen right now? You need to get scouted by a GM and then go. It's just like a completely convoluted and terrible pathway. Process is really clear right now. Be the best tier 2 team. You can be an LCS as long as you win this promotion relegation match. In the fall, we plan to release. It just feels more like for me. It feels more fair. It feels more like kind of just like it makes sense. Are you the best? Okay, you're in. Boom. It's like that. In the fall, we plan to release further details in the selection process for teams in the North and South conferences. Outline the competitive structure of each split. Okay, yeah. So they want like more details. I don't really need to read about APAC that much. Not super interested. International event slots. So the first event has 5 teams, 1 slot per region. MSI has 10 teams, 2 slots per region. Worlds has 17 teams. Holy fuck. That's crazy. I feel like there used to be more. It used to be more than 17, right? Does this revert team strength for the LCS spot? Okay, I have a lot of questions on this actually. And the main one is really just who are the 2 teams that lost their spot in LCS? What is this? What is this tweet saying? Fuck LCS. Is this like from CBLOL or what? Yeah, it is. Dignitas and IMT. 100 Thieves and IMT? I don't know. 100 Thieves is like screaming, aren't they? Maybe Shopify? I don't think 100 Thieves is out. I know that 100 Thieves has been scrimming. I think Immortals, maybe? I don't think Dig. Guys, how is Dig not in the LCS? They just announced like huge pickups that costed a lot of money. Why would they do that if they weren't a part of LCS Guaranteed? It's next year, yeah. That's true. But like, why would you even like? The thing is, I don't understand is like, why would Dignitas even bother with tryharding for summer split of the season, but right before they exit LCS? It's like at that point, just like phone it in, pay the absolute bare minimum to your players, and just collect a paycheck from LCS because LCS pays each team like $2 million a year just to be in there. As long as they don't rack up $2 million in costs, you just make money by existing in LCS. Might be Shopify, might be Immortals, yeah. Maybe 100 Thieves, maybe. I don't know. It's possible. Actually, 100 Thieves is possible next year, I would say. Shopify CEO said they wanted to stay. Why at this point, guys? Why would you ever listen to anything a CEO says? Like how many million times are you going to get lied to by a CEO? Like fucking Reggie literally said that they're going to buy a spot in a tier 1 region and then never spoke of that comment ever again. I think TSM fans are still waiting. Like, tier 1 region? Does that mean Korea? Or how about LEC? Hello? Is anyone there? I'm really curious who the two teams that lost their spot in the LCS are, but I guess we won't know for a bit. Probably there's going to be rumors and leaks at some point. It's pretty cool. Relegation promotion is awesome. Existing LLA team. Personally, I don't really follow LLA, and I'm going to just assume based on international performance that the best LLA team is probably worse than the worst LCS team. So essentially what that means is I think the best LLA team would probably lose to Immortals. However, because they're part of the Northern Conference and now the environment here, they could level up, right? Like the best LLA team, like essentially their super team for the Northern Conference at least, could level up to the point where they're competitive in the league. This is really good though. Anyways, I didn't even go over like why I think these changes are so good. First off, it's fun to watch region versus region. When I watch VCT, for example, it's cool when finals or matches between Brazil and America. It's just fucking cool. Straight up. It is extremely, extremely cool to see, like fans like bashing each other, shit talking each other on both sides. The fandom is like massive, right? Like American pride, Brazilian pride is like very big. So watching them go at it is like really, really nice. It's, a taste of international tournaments essentially, but just like within our own little conference. Second thing is, I think, I just think the viewership speaks for itself. CBLOL is way bigger than the LCS. Kind of making them both matter and making them both within the same league is just, it's good for the LCS. It's good for the LCS. I don't know if it's going to be good for CBLOL, so I'm only going to speak on essentially on behalf of the LCS because I don't know enough about CBLOL, but let me just, where did I find? Yeah, let's go CBLOL split 2, right? Like this. So, average viewership of CBLOL is, it's pretty huge. Split 1, their last, okay, let's compare apples to apples. So let's do LCS Spring. I don't know why this is taking so long to do. My bad, guys. But let's compare Split 1 of CBLOL to LCS. CBLOL is like 40% bigger. right? Their peak is almost double ours. Their average viewers is about 50K out of 120K. That's about 40%, I would say. That's pretty good, right? CBLOL is bigger than the LCS, and so us merging with them is going to be good for viewership, and it's going to just be good for the growth of the league. It's not good for CBLOL. The region is crying already. Yeah, like I gonna have to think about for a while, like what the pros and cons are gonna be for the CBLOL side to have merged with us. I can only see positives from our side, which is like a shortened league. Like only 6 LCS teams is gonna make each team stronger because there's gonna be less. The more condensed you make the league, the more the good players are concentrated on the same team, right? There's only so many amazing players. When you put them all into, like, let's say there are 50 teams, they're scattered across 50 teams, like fucking the Infinity Stones. Well, no one team is going to be that particularly good because they have to fill out rosters for 50 teams. Okay, now going down to 6 is actually going to be pretty good for the league. Especially going from 10 to 6 over the last year and a half, essentially. Are there teams that are losing even good? They definitely have some good players, yes. Regardless of even the 2 bottom teams, they're gonna lose some good players. How to be good for viewership when the conferences compete within each conference? Because by the 3rd split, the one that leads up to Worlds, they will be playing against each other. There will be a regional final where both conferences play against each other, which is 6 LCS teams, like conference versus the Southern Conference, which would be, I don't know why they don't show it, but it's going to be 6 CBLOL teams, right? Or it might be 8 CBLOL teams. I don't see the information on that, to be honest. They only show the North Conference. They don't show the South. Longer term, it's going to be good for CBLOL fans too. They're going to have more resources and better access to better players. The interest is still going to be there. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was 8 for each. There's 8 teams in each conference, but I don't know if they have an LA team in the Southern Conference and a guest team in the Southern Conference. The South is the same: 6 CBLOL, 1 LA, 1 guest. Okay, there you go. Condensing the player skill down is good for every league, and the path for NACL to LCS is good. Losing a world spot for a 3rd LCS team that doesn't do well most of the time anyways is also good. I agree with you. People hating change. This is exciting. Could be huge. LCS needed a shakeup. This is it. I wish they had a Champions League where the best teams from each region played a split. Oh. Yeah, like I personally don't really see the downsides. Like I would love to hear like why this is bad for the league, right? Why would this be bad for the LCS? I want to hear like both sides. Personally, I feel really strongly this is amazing news. This is like fucking the best thing they could have done. And like personally, I've been asking Riot like why they don't combine with CBLOL for a long time, because VCT showed this is something that people really like. This is something that like once you get a taste of it, you're like, oh, why wasn't it like this the whole time? Right? Like this is like awesome, and it's really fun to watch the regional rivalries happen. The Fusion just destroyed 80% of the pro players in the base pro scene, bro. That is awful. Dude. Survival of the fittest, bro. You don't so wait, like which one? Are you talking about like LLA? 80% of the pro players in the base in the pro scene? Which pro scene? Like LCS? There's still going to be 7 spots, 1 guest, 6 existing partner teams, only cutting down 1. And the thing is, bro, like if you're a pro player and you're just not good enough to make it in the league, you're not fucking good enough to make it in the league. Going from 35 spots for you to 40, going to 35 spots from 40 is going to cull down 5 jobs for American players, or usually honestly for Korean imports. But yeah, sucks, man. Should have picked a different job if you couldn't handle that. Everyone in Brazil hates this. Oh, okay. Can you explain why people from Brazil don't like the change? I want to know why. Like, what are the negatives? I think most people who dislike this do so because they're about CBLOL. It's only good for you. Yeah, okay. I understand. This is horrible for Brazil. No one here likes this. Yeah, no, like because like so many of my fans and like my chatters are gonna be from America. I don't have the perspective of someone who's like followed CB Law a lot, so I would love to know. People mad at losing 4 teams that we don't know anything about their financial situation. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I think bailing out 4 teams, sometimes bailing out the teams from the bottom of the barrel, those guys were clocking. Those guys were like phoning it in, anyways. I mean, how we feel about combining NA and LCK? Don't think you'd be saying survival of the fittest. I would love to combine NA and LCK. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That would be like fucking awesome. What? Why would LCK ever even agree to that, by the way? Why would LCK ever even like for a second think about combining LCK? Bro, if NA teams were a part of LCK, I would fucking watch that in a heartbeat. Are you serious? Who is not going to watch Cloud9 play against T1 on the regular? What? I don't even care if our teams are all bottom tier, like tier teams in LCK. Like, just them being a part of the league would be a huge W for LCS. Of course, I would love that. Your analogy doesn't make any sense because in both instances, LCS is the team that benefits. Or sorry, LCS is the league that benefits. What you should be saying is, do you think it would be good if LCS combined leagues with Vietnam? Or with what is it called? LJL, the Japanese league. And in that case, I'd be like, fuck no. Why the fuck would we do that? We're not getting shit from that, and they're getting everything. It's the other way around, bro. This is what you don't understand. A weaker region in terms of regional strength, going to like combining with a superior region in terms of regional strength, who does that benefit? The guy that's in the weaker position. He's saying that the LCS teams will just be all Korean non-imports. That's not what this is. That's not what this is at all. There's 6. Look at this. This is the Northern Conference, right? And so the Southern Conference is 6 CBLOL teams and 1 guest team and 1 LLA team. There's still realistically going to be 7 CBLOL teams. You can't break the fucking rules and just go all like you can't just have a league of entirely like one nationality. That's not the way that it works. That's the entire reason why they structured it like this. We love our teams. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna listen to the guy who's actually from CBLOL. Vic Falk. Hold on. We are losing 40% of our league with no upside for us, little to none. We love our teams. We have a history with them. We know the players and the staff. We are near them every day. Our community is tight. This is the worst for Brazil. See, this I actually understand for you guys, because for you guys, for CBLOL, it would be kind of like I said, if you combined with like Vietnam or LJL and you like lost some teams. So I could understand that perspective. It's like your region is doing amazing, right? Like CBLOL is doing great. The viewership's going up. The fandom is going up. The competitiveness is going up. I'm assuming the salaries are going up. The teams are doing well. Loud is like one of the biggest fucking teams in the world. MIBR is one of the biggest teams in the world. The fandom is crazy. And then all of a sudden, Riot just says, yep, you're combining with LCS. And you're like, what? I don't want to work with that guy on my group project. That guy sucks. So I think I understand. I understand why that would be upsetting. Yeah, that just sucks. I don't know what to say. That does suck. Yes. It does suck for the CBLOL fans, actually. I think there's more upside than how I'm describing it, though, because being in the same... essentially being in like the same economy as the LCS is going to help CBLOL. I do think so. Being in the same league as the American teams and the American brands and the American sponsors is going to be good for CBLOL in some way. However, I do think, yeah, it is a shame that you guys had to lose that, like when you're already on the upswing. CBLOL will not be internationally better after this change. We build an identity and a sustainable ecosystem from our viewers and players' passion. Now we merge with LCS, lose brand identity and 70% of employees of the scene, not just players, orgs, coaches, and historical teams. I don't think you're going to lose 70% of employees. I don't know how you're getting that number. How is it 70%? Wait, I don't understand. How is it 70%? So it says 10 teams are in CBLOL. And there's going to be 7 teams in this conference thing. 1 guest and 6 partner teams. So it's the other way around. You get to keep, like, it's 30%. It's 30%. Remember, this is a proposal. They could still change things before it goes official. Yeah, it's a proposed model. I think it's like it's gonna happen one way or the other, but I don't know how. Won't CBLOL hire a bunch of NA talent to attempt to compete? No, they won't. I'll tell you guys one thing that I learned from Lena about Valorant, which is that because of currency conversion, basically, America is way richer than Brazil. And so you can get way cheaper and better players from Brazil than the other way around. It's like the Brazilian team wouldn't want to pay the American person to play for their team or to coach or analyze for their team because that's crazy expensive in their currency. It's the other way around where American teams are going to be incentivized to get the best Brazilian players to play for them because $100,000 or $80,000 USD is like a shit ton. So no, I don't think that Brazilian workers of these organizations are going to lose their jobs. However, now that I think about it, I think that a lot of American talent does need to start worrying a bit about job security. It's also that BR Val players are super talented. I don't know if that's the case for League. I think the best Brazilian players will get poached, actually, by American teams. I don't think that the best Brazilian players are as good as the best American players, but I do think that they're good enough to at least like, what's a good example of this? I guess, like, I know this is gonna sound crazy racist, and I totally understand that Jose Deodo is not from Brazil, but Jose Deodo is like really talented, right? And there's probably a Jose Deodo equivalent in Brazil that I don't know of because I just don't follow CBLOL. But I'm just saying there's some really talented players that could easily slot into LCS teams from Brazil that might get poached. I'm from LATAM. A lot of pro players would kill to earn minimum LCS salary and play there. Exactly. As an example of that, senior developers and engineers in Brazil sometimes start working as juniors or even event interns in the US due to this conversion rate. Okay. Did not know that. That makes sense, though. But if you're a top dog in Brazil, why would you want to go to NALCS if you have a locked world spot available already instead of fighting against C9TL Korean imports? Because you want to be on the best team possible, and you want to be the champion. You don't want to just get in automatically because you were like the 3rd best team and you happen to be in the right conference. That doesn't feel good. How are you going to further your career? Like, you're thinking about it, like, honestly, I just like, don't take offense to this, but you're thinking about it from like a loser mentality. It's like, well, I have a higher chance of making it to Worlds if I just stay in the weaker conference, and we might squeak by 3rd place and I get a guaranteed spot in that case because one team from each conference has to make it to Worlds. The winner's mentality is, I want to join the best team possible with the biggest names, the best salary, the best resources behind me to make myself the best possible player that I could ever be. And if that happens to be in the Southern Conference, great, I'm staying here. If that happens to be in the Northern Conference, I'm joining it. I'm joining that team. I'm joining that team and we're fighting against TL. I'm joining that team. We're fighting against C9. Like, if I'm better, we'll win. And also, in terms of money, right? Yeah, like you're just going to make way more money. Most Brazilians are not understanding the changes. It's a bunch of people traumatized by Valorant. Yes, we are doing better at viewership, but the long-term competitive is an up that Brazil cannot evolve on its own. This needs to happen. Our play for fun and content will not survive as long as people think. Plus, we are not going to have the retired players standing on the league. If they manage the tier 2 will, Brazil will actually only win out. This changes. I mean, I'm optimistic about the changes. Wait, why does it say match declined? Did I really misclick that? Dude, fuck. Did I really hit no? Fuck. I misclicked. Yeah, I'm optimistic that the changes will be good for everyone. I think we both have a lot to gain from it, both regions. Doesn't the idea that multiple teams want out of the league tell you something? Yeah, it does. If you want to exit LCS, I think they should let you. It's the same shit as like, why the fuck would you want to stay in a relationship with somebody, like a girlfriend, a boyfriend, who's completely phoning it in and has no interest in furthering the relationship with you? It's so much better if you just cut the loose end. You don't want to be part of this? Great. I only want to do this thing with people who want to be a part of this and are fully invested and are in and are trying hard and want to make it better and are just like mentally and physically and emotionally like all in on this thing. If you don't want in, great. We'll find somebody who is. And I think this is like a good change in the right direction because the two lowest investment / like lowest effort teams in the league getting replaced by presumably the best, the most invested LLA team and a fucking tier 2 team with promotion relegation. That is like good. That is a good thing. Fly challenges will win NACL again. How does that work? I don't know. I would love to hear the details about how promotion relegation actually works, mechanically.